Good morning. I'm Marie with Seams Crest Farm. Today we're down low in the garden and talking about celery. Celery is not a crop that a lot of beginning gardeners think about when starting their home garden. And this is one that it took me a while to start because I had heard that it was difficult to grow. And I haven't found that that's the truth. So celery that you buy in the grocery store to me looks completely different than what we grow at home. And when I first saw it at a farmer's market, I didn't recognize it. When I asked and she told me it was celery, and I thought, oh wow, this is not like the celery that my mom used to get or that I used to get in the grocery store. So that has helped me make the decision to grow it. It's not difficult to grow. It is cold resistant. It gets out in my garden early in the spring as soon as the weather reaches 40 degrees consistently at night. It's quite cold resistant and it lasts from spring to fall for me. So I grow a variety called Utah. It is about 30 inches tall at full maturity. It takes about 100 to 120 days to get mature, but 30 inches, nice thick leaves, dark green stems that are crisp and tender, and it tastes really good in soups, fresh as in salads. At work this week, my colleagues were talking about making chicken salad. So and I thought, and my fresh celery, it's gonna be delicious. That's what made me think about making a video about celery, because I thought, wow, we don't really hear about it a lot. So Utah, nice and tall, dark, crisp and tender. It can be eaten fresh or in soups and salads. It's delicious, and I really highly recommend growing your own celery. This is actually the second flush of it. As I said, I started early in the winter as seeds inside. I bring it outside when the temperature are consistently above 40 degrees, as I said. And then when it reaches maturity, I cut it to the ground at the roots. And then I bring it inside, do what I need to do with it, and I give it a little bit more time, and then a second flush of it just pops up, and it gives me another opportunity to make either celery salt. Okay, the battery on my phone went dead, so I needed to stop and I lost my train of thought. But so Utah variety, second flush, cut it to the ground. I'm gonna bring it inside. We're gonna make some celery salt, celery seasoning. Actually, it's not salt because I don't add salt to it. It's celery powder. Sometimes I put celery powder, onion powder, and garlic powder together and make a celery seasoning that I'm going to show you how to do next. And also other ways that I use to store it. So follow me inside. Because this is the second flush for my celery, I still have the chance to take the longer stems, slice them in longer lengths, and store them in the fridge to use as a snack. And what I do with that is I just cut them up, I put them into a damp paper towel, and I put them in a Ziploc bag and store them in the fridge until I'm ready to use them. As a second technique is I do the same thing with smaller diced celery that I want to use later that week in other recipes, but I also blanch some of the celery that I harvest. So I dice them in small pieces, and I will blanch not only the stems but also some of the leaves, and I use the blanched vegetables in stews or soup later on in the winter. So what I do is I bring some water to a boil. I dump the celery in the boiling water for about 3 minutes, and I have an ice bath ready to go right next to it. And after 3 minutes, I take the celery out. It's still nice and dark green. And again, that includes the stems and the leaves as well. I do that. And then what I will do is put them on a towel to dry, and once it's dried, I throw them onto a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper and flash freeze them for a little bit. Once they're flash frozen, I put them in that Ziploc bag and store them in the freezer for later use. The third method is to use the leftover then leaves and really small stems to dehydrate. So I have a Cosori Dehydrator. It's a 6-layer
or 6 shelves dehydrator. Very easy to use. It's an on and off. Set the temperature, set the time, and you're ready to go. But I will take my 6 shelves, line them with parchment paper, and I will layer my pieces of leaves and stems all on them. I pretty much cramp all my shelves. I guess it could take longer to dehydrate if you do it this way. But as they dry, I move them around because they'll shrink a little bit. So as I check on the status of the dehydrator in that next 24 hours, I, kind of put them apart a little bit. But the dehydrating process is quite easy because you just have to, for this dehydrator, set the temperature. For the celery, I do 125 degrees Fahrenheit, and I do for 24 hours. And it's really as simple as that. You take all your shelves and you put them into the dehydrator. And once all of them are inserted, close the door, hit start, and you're ready to go. 24 hours later, the celery is ready to go. If it takes a little bit longer, I do add some time, and that's happened depending on the weather outside, if it's really humid or if it's raining, because I do all this outside. It might take a little bit longer. Oh, this is the amaranth that I grew this year. I thought it was really good in my bouquets, but this is what the celery looks like when it's dehydrated. And then after that 24-hour, or maybe a little bit more, I take everything inside, and I'm ready to start the grinding of the celery pieces. I have a 1 or 1.5 cup capacity grinder. I really like it. It's really efficient, but it's very loud. So what I do is, again, I just put everything in there, and it might take a couple of times. You kind of look at the size of the leaves as you're grinding them. This isn't hot. It's just celery powder escaping from the grinder when I open the lid. But and it smells so good. Your home celery, when you're dehydrating and grinding it, nothing beats it. It's much better than what you buy at the grocery store. So again, it might take a few pulses, looking at what your product looks like, and you just grind it to as small as you would like it. And once you have achieved the size or consistency of the powder that you like, then I just take it and put it in a mason jar with a lid on. I have those little gel packets to keep the humidity out that are very helpful, that I buy on Amazon, but that's all there is to it. I just store it in the large container, and or smaller packets for customers who are interested in purchasing it from me.
Okay, we're back in the garden. There's one thing that I forgot to mention. When you harvest celery, you don't have to take the whole stalks, the whole head together. You can just grab one branch at a time and bring them in and use it as you need it, and then leave the rest for later use. I love celery, homegrown celery. It's so much different than what you get in the store. I hope that you found this video interesting, and thanks for watching.